The government cannot give everybody land. Like, it's impossible. There is no main line running there, so you're gonna have to install a main line. And if the electricity is about 27, you can think that water is gonna be double that. On the phone at this point, I wasn't thinking about selling my land. I said to the lady, cancel my application. I don't want to water for you. Cancel my application. $60,000 for water that I have to pay every month after this. So you want? Hi guys, welcome to the flip side of Joshuanette's world. Over here we talk about finance, lucrative lifestyle choices, investment, and personal development. So today guys, we are giving you some good food for thought. I am giving you 6 things that you should consider when you are going to purchase some land. So guys, before the actual tips, I'm gonna give you the backstory. I actually have my whole folder here because, as I said to you guys, I do keep record of everything. It's like a very compulsive disorder that I have. However, the real backstory: on April 1994, my mother and father made the last payment on the land that they were purchasing for us. So the idea was they were going to buy land and it would have been subdivided for all of my siblings. So in total there are 8 of us. So my mom and dad has 5, and then my mom has 1, and my dad has 2 other children. So there are 8 of us in total. My dad has property in John Hughes, my mom has property in Buckley's, and then they were buying that land for us. Whatever happened, they never completed the transaction. However, what happened, as soon as I got a stable job, that is teaching, so I graduated from high school in 2010, I graduated from Antigua State College in 2012, and then I graduated from teacher education in 2014. Then I didn't get hired by the government right away, so I worked at NCO for a full year, and I'm telling you, let me pull out the paper here. So don't mind my paper, and it looks a little washed out. I started this whole land thing November the 6th, 2015. So this is all of Joshuanette checking in. Like, if I knew that this would have taken so long, we probably would not have done this. This is a whole entire marathon. Today, I'm literally lying on the floor in the middle of the road because we planted 17 poles today. All I'm saying is, buying land comes with lots of challenges. Hold on the foot, Joshie. Out. There have always been the situation that is a personal story. Because it's not my story, I will not share it. My other sibling, they were gonna do it, however it never worked out. So I started the process. So I went to the lady, I did up a new agreement. I actually have, I'm telling you now, it's been keep record. So she also had a copy of like the payment history that my parents had. I'm gonna go through all this paperwork just so you can have an idea of all what's in my folder. So the lady, she actually kept a copy of the payments that my parents had, which was super cool, and we went from there. It's actually not in this folder, it's probably in the other folder. Yes, I have 2 folders. So what happened, we made an agreement and I approached the bank about buying this land. So my first bank, my student loan was with ACB. I should have a video about the pros and cons about the student loan. That's a whole other conversation, but we'll have that later. However, I was already with ACB, so I approached ACB. And ACB distributed the money to the lawyer office. However, for whatever reason, when the calculation was done, it was done incorrectly. So the lawyer office had to send back the money to the bank. Let me just tell y'all, right? I said it in my video, when you see people with things, you don't know the story. You do not know the struggles. And I'm telling you, getting land especially in Antigua and Barbuda, it's a struggle. So the lawyer office, I got an email and it says, please find attached a scanned copy of our letter to ACB for reimbursement of the funds which was paid into the chambers onto your behalf. ACB, the bank, the lawyer office that I had at that time. I actually switched lawyers and I switched banks. They sent back the bank the money. That in itself was a whole story. They didn't have enough money. They would have initially tried to buy the 2 acres instead of buying the 1. And I didn't have enough salary, so I tried to get somebody else to sign with me, which was my sister at the time. That didn't work. Like, that in itself. So this email is actually June the 16th, 2015. Like, just get to that place, I'm telling you, was stressful. Like, I cursed, I bawled my eyes out, I felt depressed, I felt defeated, I felt stressed out, because guess what? Okay, I'm gonna buy this land, and then boom, I can't buy it. And it was just one thing after the next, after the next, after the next. Finally, the bank sent back the money, because obviously it wouldn't have worked. So I switched banks. I no longer bank at ACB. I am not bashing ACB, but I just don't bank there. I did not have a good experience, and I canceled my account there. I went over to ECAB, and ECAB gave me the money to buy the first parcel. So they gave me money and I bought the first parcel. So the parcel actually comes, again, this whole land story. When we were supposed to get 2 acres, I went and the lady didn't know the plot numbers. So I had to go to the survey department. We had to search for the land, and they had 2 1-acre plots. However, my sister was like, we weren't supposed to get those 2 1-acre plots. We were supposed to get a part that's on the hill, so they had to cut that land. So guys, even before we got to buying the land had to be cut. So that in itself was a cost. Thank God for Gary, the surveyor. So he cut the land. So 1 of the acres is a full acre, and 1 of them is cut into 2. So I have the deed for the 1 that's cut into 2, because that's the one I purchased at first. And I'm saying to you, the bank sent back the money. I was still persistent, and I went to a different bank. I had to cut it, I had to survey it, I had to go to land registry. Apparently, you have to check the block number. If the land, in 5 years, you have to do back the boundaries. Like, there was just so much stuff to do even before I got to just buying it. And then the agreement that we had with the lady, just because of the terms and conditions of our purchase, is that we would have gone through all of the hassle involved, paying the taxes, paying the stamp duties, doing it all. And I'm telling you, it's been a lot. So in 2015 I started. 2016 I got a loan. It was approved. The bank sent the money to the lawyer office. The lawyer office sent back the money to the bank. I went to a different bank and I got through and I bought the first piece. I would have said to my siblings that I bought the first piece and they should buy the second piece, because that just makes sense. However, time passed, 2 years passed, nothing happened, and I'm gonna give you all the full story. I'm crawling up on the floor because I feel stressed out and depressed, and then this light bulb clicked. If I buy this next piece of land, I can develop it into this nice garden, because then I'm gonna have enough space. And my sister got married at this place in Falmouth, and while I loved the place, like, I hated the fact that it was in the lady's backyard. I'm like, you know, you can plant some trees and it would be so cute. And I was like, well, I'm gonna buy the second piece. I send a message in the WhatsApp chat for all my siblings, and I'm like, do you guys mind if I buy the second piece? And everybody's like, you know, no, they don't mind. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy it. So 2018, this is why good things happen when the man and I left Harvey. Boom, done. 2018, we start the process to buying the second piece. Because I was smart, what I did is, when I was buying the first piece, the lady who owned the land died, so we have to get it through her children. There are 10 children. In order for the transfer to happen, all 10 children must sign. However, all 10 children don't live in Antigua and Barbuda. Thank God for Crystal, and she living in New Jersey. I'm gonna beg she plenty favors, print this, go this place. Let me tell you, like, just getting the document from here to there and back here, headache. Like, headache. One of the documents now, the sibling doesn't live in Antigua and Barbuda now. It went overseas. It was signed and it came back. However, just one single line wasn't signed. Document is not good. Literally, the document not good, because that place there wasn't signed. So that sibling, we had to send it back to him for him to sign. However, he was coming to a funeral, so instead of signing it overseas, he signed it here. I applied in 2018. The loan was approved in 2018, November 2018. The lawyer was paid and the balance of the money was paid in 2018. Stamp duties were paid, everything was done. To this date, we are in 2021. I do not have the deed for this land. Every time you think that you are done, Father God, you know I pray about this, something come up. January the 7th of this year, I got a message that said, please note that a claim came back and the process did not go through. Dash sibling, I'm not going to call the sibling's name just for confidentiality and privacy reason, name is not the same as it is on the will. So I'm like, I hit the desk so hard at school, right? So hard. I'm like, what else can possibly go wrong? Like, I just want this process to be done, Father God. We're still not done. And we're still not done. I asked the lady, like, how do we solve the problem? We have to do up a new document that says, you know, while her name is this on the will, this is actually her right name, but she was called this. We had to do that for like 2 siblings. Like, one of the issues, again, the sibling that doesn't live here, her name was not spelled like how it's spelled on her birth certificate, on the will. So it didn't go through. I'm just saying to you, right? And I'm gonna keep telling y'all in all my videos, when you see people with things, like, you do not know the struggle. And I am saying to you, like, my first advice is that, you know, when you decide to buy land, it is not a 100-meter dash. It is a marathon. And I'm saying to you, once you decide to buy land, just know it's going to be a long process. There are many things. I'm telling you, when a document goes to one lawyer, government office, you know how long it takes? Again, backstory. We're just going to get these lovely pieces of land. In order for the land to be transferred from your name to whoever, or from whoever's name to your name, it has to go to the Inland Revenue Department and they have to value the land. Months of calling and doing follow-ups and calling, nothing. One day I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna go to this office. So I go and I'm like, I am here to speak to so and so because I have been calling and haven't had any luck with regards to getting back the valuation for a parcel of land I'm trying to purchase. And it was like, the gentleman isn't in today and he's not gonna be in any time. He's gonna be in about 2:30 or even later. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna sit down over there and wait for him to come. And Liz like, you don't have to do that. I'm like, I have to, because I've been calling for months and I haven't had any luck. So today I decided that I have completed my job at the government's place and I come to sit with you all. I kid you not, I did not sit down for 20 minutes and the document was found. All the time you call, nothing. It's sad to say that in Antigua and Barbuda, very sad, that if you do not go to places, call, harass, run behind a little bit more, you do not get things done. But I'm saying to you, when you decide to buy land, number one, just know it's not a 100-meter dash, it's a marathon. There will be many, and I cannot even begin to tell you all how much roadblocks, how much days. I'm just like, Father God, you can imagine I am paying the bank for the last 2 years every month and I don't have a deed. And every time you think that you're done, you're not done. You can imagine, like, every time you call, it's something, like literally something. The document gets sent back, something to do, something. It is always something. So when you decide to buy land, it may not be that you're gonna be in your 6th year, because I am at 5 years 3 months now, and we're not gonna be finished, because obviously with COVID-19 work is even slower. But I'm just saying to you, it's gonna take long. I decided that we'll get to that part, that we are going to subdivide the land even more. And I started this process June 2020. We are in February of 2021, and I got parcel numbers 2 days ago. Again, I had to call the surveyor, I had to call land registry, I had to call the survey department. At this point, I call the head of the survey department, and I was like, so sir, I just don't understand how my stuff don't go through yet. And then he's like, oh, the system at land registry was down, and that's why it didn't go through. And then like 2 weeks ago, I finally got plot numbers. Because we're gonna get into the cost attached to land. I am saying to you, tip number 1, this race that you're going through, that we're saying we're gonna buy land, just know it is not an easy race, it's a long one. I log on to social media and I see people say, oh, I'm trying to get land and I can't get land. I'm like, just know it takes time. It takes a lot of time. It takes patience. It takes persistence. I'm saying to you, November made 5 full years. My battle still isn't done. I went and I read you the stuff. The bank sent back the money. Like you just don't know. Like you just don't know what can happen. So you have to know, once I am going into this, it is a long, long road. My second tip, knowledge is power. Too many people also on social media do not know the cost of a land. So I did a little analysis for you. So let me get my trusted book. So let's say, for instance, we're in Antigua and Barbuda. I'm not sure of anywhere else. And land can start, if you're going to get it from the government, from maybe about $4 per square foot straight to about $15 per square foot. However, we are only going to go into a range from $4 to $8 per square foot, so you have an understanding of how much land actually costs. For 1 acre of land, and if you have Google, you should type it into Google, you can convert the acreage to square footage. So 1 acre is actually 43,550 square feet. Okay? And we're going to convert this square footage now, and we're going to multiply it by a dollar amount, because that is how land is sold. So it is sold by that dollar amount. At $8 per square foot, 1 acre of land is $348,480. For 1 acre of land at $7 per square foot is $304. At $6 per square foot is $261. At $5 per square foot is $217, and at $4 per square foot it is $174,000. So you have a broad analysis. So we're going from 1 acre. So can you not buy 1 acre, because 1 acre plenty money. Let us buy half an acre. Again, you go into Google and you put 0.50, and it's going to convert it to square footage. And in square footage, you are looking at 21,780. Again, we're going to use that same range. We're going to go from $8 straight down to $4. So for half an acre of land, you're looking at spending $174,000. $7 per square foot, you're looking at spending $152. $6 per square foot, you're looking at spending $130. $5 per square foot, you're looking at spending $108. And for $4 per square foot, you're looking at spending $87. Let's go down even smaller, because obviously we can't afford half acre. So we go quarter acre, which is 0.25. Again, you go to Google, you put 0.25, they're gonna tell you the square footage. So the square footage is 10,890. We're gonna keep our same range, so you have an understanding of how much money we're looking at spending. So at $8, we're looking at 87. At $7, we're looking at 76. At $6, we're looking at 65. At $5, we're looking at $54, and at $4, we're looking at just about $43,000. Okay, that's still a bit pricey, so let's go down an even smaller size. Let's go down to 0.15. 0.15 is actually a good piece. Unfortunately, I can't really give you anything that I could compare it to, unfortunately. Like, yeah. Let me see. So if we were, but then that wouldn't, everybody wouldn't go to that particular school. Like some schools would typically be, some schools are on very big pieces though, so it's not even that, because some schools are probably on more than 1 acre. Anyways, let's go 0.15. I am a teacher. I only know this information because I've been privy to land, and Gary is a good surveyor and he's told me this information. So if we go 0.15, at $8 per square foot, you're going to spend 52. At $7 per square foot, you're going to spend 45. At $6 per square foot, you're going to spend 39. At $5 per square foot, you're going to spend 32. And at $4 per square foot, you're going to spend 24. Okay, you still can't afford that, so let's go down an even smaller piece, and anything smaller than this is probably pointless. Let's go 0.10 acres, which is actually 4,356 square feet, which is just about bigger than an average house plot. So at $8, you're looking at $34 per square foot. $7, you're looking at $30 per square foot. At $6, you're looking at $26,000 per square foot, and at $5, you're looking at $21,000, and at $4, you're looking at just about $17,000 per square foot. So now that you see that land, even the smallest piece that you're gonna buy is gonna range from $17,000 straight up to $300 and something thousand. You can see the gap. However, individuals who do not understand the concept of land feel as though when somebody is quoting $50-something thousand, they're being robbed. The value of land and the cost per square foot is based on where this land is located. It is based on infrastructure, and it's based on several other factors. So even before we get to that point, let's get number 2. You must understand that when you're buying land, it doesn't depreciate, it appreciates, and the cost attached to it can be a lot. Added to the cost for the land, you still have to pay 2.5% stamp duties at the inland revenue, and then the persons who's selling you the land is going to pay 7.5%, because in total the government charges you 10% tax for land. And don't think if your parents give you land, you don't pay any tax. If your parents give you land, you still have to pay 2.5%. Yes, your parents hand down some land to you and the government tax you for getting hand-me-downs. Added to you need to know that, you also need to know that to get your land, you're going to have to get something what is called evaluation. And evaluation can run you from between $400 straight to different valuators will take you to $800. And over the course of buying my land, I had to do several valuations. So there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4. And please note all of these. Oh, I know there's another one. There's 5, there's 6. All of these are valuations. All of these cost money. I just think I'm in the wrong profession. Architects and people who survey land and so on, them, they really make the money. But that's not the point today. The point is you have to pay a valuator. And then you still have to pay the lawyer. Again, the lawyer has given me some bills, like even the valuator. So again, the Gary, he had to be charged variation of the parcel, boundary marks, subdivision, total $3,800 to one building. I went to look about clearing this land. For clearing land and removal of debris, $18,000. This is a bill from the lawyer office. This is a bill from the lawyer office. Like, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. And then there was another there's another bill. I tell you, right? I'm telling you all, right? All I'm saying to all, when you decide to buy land, just know that it's going to cost you some pretty pennies. Oh yes, this. And then for grading and creation of road, $15,000. So I'm gonna get into that particular part because that doesn't necessarily apply to you if you're buying land, because if you're buying land, the person must ensure that infrastructure is in place. Infrastructure meaning that they must ensure you have access, you have lights, and you have water. So we know, okay, the cost for the land. We know that we need a valuator. We know that we're gonna have to pay a lawyer, and the one thing that we don't talk about is time. Time is money. We can't get it back. And once you go down this road, please note, getting this land and getting all the things right is going to take a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of frustration. However, remember, we're not on a 100-meter dash. We are on a marathon. Okay, we now have our knowledge. We know a little bit more about land. Number 3, what is your budget? You have to decide. Again, for my car, I had a budget, $10,000 to $20,000. For land, I didn't particularly have a budget, but you need to have a budget. Like, how much am I willing to spend on this land? Like, how much am I willing to spend? How much am I willing to borrow? How much am I willing to save? It boils down to budget. As I said to you, you now know you can buy a piece as small as $17,000 to a piece as costly as much as $300 and something thousand. So you have that idea as to how land goes, like how extremely low and how extremely high it can get. So you now have to decide, what is my budget? And after we decide what is our budget, we are going to jump right into tip number 4. Before I get into tip number 4, the government cannot give everybody land. Like, it's impossible for the government of Antigua and Barbuda to give all of its citizens land. So everybody, again, I get on social media, like, I went to Chopper and I signed up so long, like, why not try to get a private PS? And that is tip number 4. After you know your budget, after you are knowledgeable, like, am I gonna get my land private or am I gonna go through the government system? We all know the government system takes a very long time. And sad to say, we also know, unfortunately, many times it's not what you know, it's who you know. But it needs to be said. Somebody needs to say so. And I'm going to say so. The government cannot give everybody land. You cannot go to Chopper and assume that you're going to go to Chopper today and sign up and you're going to get called next week. Because there are people who went since 2 years ago. And also, I am not going to say that it is an excuse for them being tardy and them calling back. It is not an excuse. But the truth is, the government cannot truly give all of us land. So a lot of people, they want land, but they just be like, oh, I went to the government and it didn't go through. Like, have you tried somebody private who's selling? There are many people selling land. You drive past the signs on the road all the time. The banks have auctions. People have them on Facebook. There are many things. Like, really and truly, we cannot all get land from the government. Like, my land was bought privately. I didn't get it from the government. And you see, I gave you the story. There was a lot of heartache. There was a lot of stress. There was a lot of running up and down. Like, I've cried about it. I really have. Because I am tired. Like, after 5 years, I am tired. But still, again, I am not running a 100-meter dash. I am running a marathon. So even if I'm tired, I know the end result is going to be something great. And I'm saying to you, if it's not working out with the government, go buy a private piece. Number 5, location, location, location. You see those figures that I was calling? Land, typically at the government, you may get land for $4 and $5, but private owned land, we're looking at between $6 and $8. And please note, location plays a very big role in land. The land that you're gonna buy in Buckley's and the land you're gonna buy in Hodges Bay is gonna be the same size, but the land in Hodges Bay could cost 2 times the amount. The land you're gonna buy in Fitch's Creek and Crabs is gonna be 2 times the amount. Let us look at the land in, if you're gonna buy a piece in Grace Farm or Point or Villa. I'm not talking down these places, I'm not, and I do apologize if there's anybody watching my video and they feel that way. That's not the point. I'm just doing a comparison. The value of land is based on several factors, and the land in these areas is obviously going to be a bit cheaper, way cheaper than a land that we're going to find at a beachfront. If we go all road, the land right upon the beach, they're probably expensive land. If we go around and we go Fries, like all of those hotels that are on frontline properties, the cost for that land is going to be maybe quadruple the size for a piece in Grace Farm, for a piece in Buckley's, for a piece in Bendal's. It's important that we know that location of land definitely defines the value. But when we talk about location, we also need to think about stuff like, is this land swampland? Because there's some areas that are swampy and I wouldn't advise anybody buying land there. However, it could be that you're gonna backfill it or you're gonna build your house on pillars, whatever you decide to do, because people do live in swamp areas. So that is something to consider. We also need to consider public transportation. Remember my video is telling you don't need to buy a car. You don't need to buy a car. Like when you buy a land, you want to think, am I gonna have access to the bus? And even if you have a car, life happens. You go down the road and something happens and your car is destroyed. Can you go out the road and get the bus? We want to think about, if you have children, is the area safe? Do they have a primary school? Do they have a secondary school nearby? Is there a field that my child can play in? So when you're thinking about location, you got to think about all of these things. Again, with location. So the land that I purchased, based on the agreement, I said to you guys, we're covering all the costs. And when I called the Antigua Public Utilities Authority to get electricity, I don't want to misquote them. I tell y'all, I write down everything. The lady called me on the phone and she said, to get electricity installed to your property, $26,293.92. And I said, okay. Then what happened? The good Lord, my neighbor, went and he applied. So our bill went down and my bill went to $19,000. Then I went and my mother cursed and I cursed, because like, that's craziness. Like, why am I still spending so much money if there's somebody else who lives? I am here, the man is right there. And the bill went down. It's still over $10,000. So just to get electricity, because I'm saying to you, infrastructure must be there. So for me selling my pieces that I want to sell, I have to put in the electricity. We also applied for water, and when I spoke to the lady on the phone, she said to me, there is no main line running there, so you're gonna have to install a main line. And if the electricity is about 27, you can think that water is gonna be double that. On the phone at this point, I wasn't thinking about selling my land. I said to the lady, cancel my application. I don't want to water from you. Cancel my application. $60,000 for water that I have to pay every month after this. So you want $60,000 for water, and at this point my neighbor didn't apply for electricity yet, and you want $27,000 when we round to the nearest whole number, $30,000. So 60 and 30 and $90,000 for light and water. Cancel my application. But I don't want to water from IU. I don't want to water, because there's no way in hell I am going to pay $90,000. Where will I find $90,000 from? $90,000? Like what? Like what? 90? Thank God my love for chat my mouth. Call my good auntie. Mwah, I love you. Really appreciate it. It's like I have a chat your mouth. And say, Joshuanette that line, no. My main line there. She call me, she give me all the story of how she know her main line there. And me call them and give them the story that she give me. AP will try to convince me that for me auntie, the know she say. So me again, you should adapt some of it. Some of the qualities I have, you have to take it. You see those persistent, calling, going, annoying quality, you need it. At one point, all the inspectors, they AP with me. Then know me too much, so then go on Facebook and Google me. Can I want to know who this girl who has a call? Because I left and I went and showed the inspector the pipe. And I no longer have to pay $60,000. I don't even have to pay $1,000 for water. And this is what I'm saying to you. Sometimes it's good to talk your business, and it's good to do your own research. When you go around the area and you see people live the ask in their business, water run here, light run here, look up in the sky, look for things. Because I'm saying to you, when you purchase land, these infrastructures must be in place. So tell you what APA has decided to call me. As a land developer, I was like, I don't know what you're calling land developer, because first thing first, this land that I bought, you need to know the story behind buying the land. So I'm gonna know where you get this land developer story. I am a teacher, but according to APA, land developers, which apparently I fit into that category, must put light, water, and roadway into the area in order for you to sell your property. So let's go back to this invoice that I have here from Willie B, that says for grading and creating of road $15,000, and on my land there are 3 roads. So when it was subdivided, and again another tip you should know, when you purchase land, you must have roadway access. And even if somebody's going to cut up a land that you have, the person must install a road so that all of the parcels have equal access to a road. And there are 3 of them, and each road costs $15,000 to install. We still have to pay for electricity. So we are at 15, and 15 is 30, and 15 is 45, and 15 more. How much? 60? Okay. And then people want to come and buy your land for $4 a square foot. Can't happen. Your land now has to start, because you have to pay to put in that infrastructure. It has to start at about $7 per square foot, because putting in the infrastructure in these places, you hear what I said, if you charge me $60,000 for a main line for water. So can you imagine if water didn't run in that area? That would mean in order for me to sell anybody, I must ensure that I can put in that water, that light, and that road. So if we were to be super crazy, you're looking at over $100,000 in infrastructure, and then somebody who knows nothing about land come and say, I want to buy your land for $4 a square foot. Literally, people like me, apparently, if we call ourselves land developer, just want to pit their face. Sorry, but that is the reality of how we feel, because we know the bills behind of just selling you this land. Because it's not just selling you the land, it's selling you the land but ensuring that you can get light and water, and we don't get it free at APOA. I told you it's $27,000 people charge me, and when I called to get water, the initial cost was $60,000, and then I go, because I have to install the road so you can drive in. The road costs $15,000 per road, and it's 3 roads. I am saying to you, location, those, when people charge them money, when we go to those places and we see that they don't have the regular Barber Green roads, but they have the concrete road, just know you're gonna spend some serious money, because infrastructure costs money. However, if you and me, one of my advice is, don't put your hat too high. Put it high enough, but don't put it too high. Like, maybe it's me, maybe I'm being small-minded, maybe somebody will be and be like, maybe I would not think of buying land in Hodges Bay. I would not think of buying land in Fitch's Creek, because I just don't think I could afford it. Like, I really cannot. If the liquor land that day, John Hughes, cost so much money, and it give me so much heart problem, and AP will tell me $60,000 for water, and $27,000 for, like, can you imagine in those places? And again, my circumstance, it doesn't happen with everybody. It is unique based on the agreement that was made when I started this process 5 years ago we have to cover that cost. So guess what? I am okay with covering the cost because the benefits attached to it outweigh the cost. However, the cost, I want hefty costs. Hefty. I am telling you, the bills I just told y'all over $100,000. So when I sell my parcels, they have to be sold at $7 per square foot, and at minimum $6.50 per square foot, because I have to pay so much money out. The little money that I'm probably not even making a profit. And if I make a profit, I'm going to make a $10,000 profit. And you and I both know, as soon as you have $10,000, gone. Like literal gone in no time. No time. So I'm saying, I know this point's a bit long, but I'm saying location. It plays a key role in the cost attached to this land that you're trying to buy. Point number 6, and my last point, bank or savings. I have said to my mother, to my nieces, and to everybody, when I die, my insurance is going to pay the bank a hefty amount of money, because I believe the banks are put in place for us to move from one place to the next. Again, I am going to get lots of backlash because people are going to say, you can't go, we believe in the bank. I don't believe in going to the bank to buy a car. But if you're going to buy a piece of land or you're going to buy something, I feel like you can put in a little bit more and repurpose the money. You can build your market, you can buy a house, okay. You can probably talk to the contractor, see if you can put in an additional $10,000. Again, this is why you have to buy a cheap car. You can get $10,000 somewhere so you can get the money on the side for buy the car. You can buy the land, make the overstate the invoice, make it, do something. You go to the bank and buy the car. Like, no. That is my personal belief. And I have come up with that belief because I have been to the bank for a student loan. I have been to the bank for a mortgage. I have been to the bank for land. And I've been to the bank for stupidness. And I'm saying to you, the best decisions that I made with the banks are my land and my mortgage. Anything else will be stupidness. Well, my student loan, not so much. We'll have a whole video about that. But the point is, when you decide, and again, I gave you the figures, how long is it going to take you to save $17,000? And that is at bare minimum. That is at the smallest piece, and that is with the government. Because nobody will sell, no private person will sell no land for $4 a square foot. No private person, none, nada. Take that out of me. Even know the government may probably stop selling it, because then when you sell something, it must yield some benefit. It must be profitable. And if you're going to sell something just to break even, that doesn't make sense. I am not saying that people don't overcharge. People do overcharge. However, as a consumer, again, I was a consumer. When we went to this lady, we worked out a deal. We worked out a bargain. You have to go and negotiate with the person that is selling the land, and you may get some money off. Decide if you're going to go to the bank, and decide if you're going to save. Bonus point. Before you give anybody your money, go and research that, ensure that this deed is in this person's name and this person can sell the land legally. I am not going to call anybody's name on my video because nobody's going to bash me, but I have friends who have paid for land, and now that they're trying to get the deed, they cannot get the deed. And it is a hustle and bustle to get the deed. They have receipts, they've gone to a lawyer, they've done so much, and they just can't get the deed because first thing first, the land belongs to the person. I have another friend, they sell the land to two people. People can be very dishonest. And this is why I believe in the banks. Because the banks do all the checks for you now. The banks now make you pay for nothing. No, the banks will do the checks for you. All I'm saying is, tip number 7, bonus tip. Ensure when you decide to buy a land, this person has the deed and this person has the right to sell the land, because people are very dishonest. Very. I hope you enjoyed today's video. giving you some magic about how I bought land and how you can buy land. We are all leveling up. We're all going to invest our money into something. We're not investing our money into cars and these things. We're going to buy land first. After land, we'll buy a car. So in the comment section below, leave that one tip that you think is really important, and 2, share this video with a friend if you feel as though it brought value to you. Until the next video, guys. Bye.